Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's start with this. We do see breaking. Swift postpones the ISO 20022 migration originally planned for November 2022 after Target 2 by the ECB. The MT/MX transition is also postponed until March of 2023. We document the reasoning below, and we do see, quote, an overwhelmingly majority of our global community has requested the Swift line the start of the global ISO 20022 migration for CBPR Plus with the ECB's updated timetable to ease implementation. So it's officially going to be delayed. I've seen a lot of YouTubers saying that's not going to be delayed, it's not going to be this, that, whatever. Doesn't matter. We have an official statement here. Now, of course, am I going to say that, okay, yeah, we have to wait until March 2023? No, not necessarily. I think that a lot of these things do get postponed, and then they do go live without us really kind of expecting it. So we will most likely see an earlier announcement that this does go live, but who knows? I don't really stick to timeframes at all on this. All we know is that ISO 20022 is coming. But this also is not a negative thing. I don't look at this as a negative thing. In fact, this gives us some more time to stack our ZERPs. If you guys have been around for a while, you know that that is key word for XRPs. But with all of that in mind, I think that this is great. I don't think that this is negative at all. And also, we do have a little bit of a breakdown over here. We do see that they are preparing for the start of the ISO 20022 migration for cross-border payments and reporting CBPR Plus, and since August, all required capabilities have been deployed, and institutions have been able to exchange ISO 20022 messages on an opt-in basis. And then they do also mention the ECB here. They talk about the entire thing happening within the cross-border payment system as well as the global financial system. Honestly, 2023 is aligning to look like a great year for crypto as well as the financial system to really kind of be restructured by digital assets as well as crypto. And they mentioned a few things on, within this, talking about ISO 20022 MT coexistence period for all users on the 20th of March of 2023. And yeah, it's really kind of just giving us a little bit of an in-depth view on what's going to be happening around this. But all we know is that ISO 20022 will essentially launch essentially soon, but we don't know the full-on date because they are giving us March of 2023. They might push it a little bit more. They might, go live sooner. We don't really stick to dates like that on this channel. I've always told you guys, don't get your hopes up around any specific dates within this market. And I really do think that this is, like I said, a good thing. I don't look at this as a bad thing. Anybody that was expecting ISO 20022 to pump their bags anyways, I think is a little bit underexposed to what ISO 20022 actually means. So definitely look into it if you guys haven't done enough research on it. I highly advise you to research a little bit more in depth on it. But with all of that in mind, I do want to bring you guys over to consultancy.uk, where this was posted back in 2015. Payments platform Ripple Inc.'s deal with Accenture. So why am I bringing this up? Well, I'm bringing this up because we have a substantial amount of information to go over, and I want you guys to understand the connection here between Ripple and Accenture. So Accenture has struck an alliance with Ripple, an enterprise company providing cross-currency settlement solutions for financial institutions. Through the use of the firm's low overhead and fast ledger systems, banks can, according to the firm, considerably decrease their costs in payment domain while increasing oversight and transaction reliability. As part of this deal, Accenture will integrate Ripple's products in its advisory services to clients. So not only do Ripple and Accenture have this partnership, but this gives Ripple's products full-on exposure to Accenture's clients. Now, Accenture is an absolute giant. I don't know if they break Accenture down on this at all, but it's all good. We actually have the website open over here, but we will get to that in a second. What I wanted to talk to you guys about is just the direct connections here going all the way back to 2020 as well. Bank of England picked Ripple partner Accenture to create payments network. I thought this was very interesting with all of the things aligning perfectly with what England is doing with crypto, as well as moving forward on crypto adoption and a possible CBDC backed by, of course, DLT. And Like I said, pay attention to these connections because these are huge, especially when you go all the way back in time to this document that was posted by Accenture. It's a PDF file, and it's talking about unlocking infinite value, blockchain and collateral management. And yeah, this is a very interesting document. Let me zoom in real quick just so that you guys can see. Let me go one more out, and let's come down and look at a few things happening within this. So they do break down blockchain in general. They also break down the amount of money here, $600 million of investments in blockchain and related technology initiatives by 2020, which we've already seen a major move within that. Like I said, this is an older document, so please just be aware of that. They do mention XRP in here. I think it's like one time. So actually, no, they don't mention it at all, but they do mention Ripple. So here is the startup alliances in terms of their partnership. So alliances with leading blockchain startups such as Ripple and DAH. Now the reason why I look at this and the reason why I focus on this is because of how bullish Accenture actually is on crypto. When I actually found this document a few years ago, it's what really kind of gave me a little bit of an insight on where DLT and also assets like XRP, XLM, etc. are headed. I mean, you do see like which DLT platforms are available for collateral management. The two major ones are Hyperledger and Corda, which are the biggest go-tos around the financial institutional grade area and the enterprise grade area as well. They are designed for regulated financial institutions. But I also think that when we look at ledgers, the XRP ledger would also be perfect for this. And we do see a few centered on, clearing and settlement processes, handling corporate actions, functions, all that kind of stuff. The only reason why I brought this document up is just to understand the value that is held behind DLTs. Right now, from the time that this was posted, this PDF file, to now, we have seen a huge shift happen around crypto. And the only reason why I want to really bring up Accenture is this over here from Matthew Lin Y. He's talking about that BIS Project M Bridge. I mentioned this in the video from yesterday. And it's talking about the MBLM bridge ledger is looking more and more like XRP. Accenture is a Ripple technology partner, and its own blockchain is XRP enabled. Like I said, I just talked about that as well. And we do see connecting economies through CBDC. And over here, we also see projects supported by Accenture. And then over here on the next slide, participating commercial banks in the pilot. You see all the major banks here. One that really kind of comes up in all areas is HSBC. You see Standard Chartered, SCB. Some of these are already Ripple clients, by the way. Bank of China, and a few other ones as well. And then over on this next slide, we do see in its press release, Accenture explained that its solutions enabled business process synchronization between the blockchain platforms from Digital Asset DA platform and R3 Corda, as well as Hyperledger Fabric and Quorum. The solutions also demonstrated they could actively share data and information across distributed ledgers, proving that integration is possible across a growing number of distributed ledger platforms in the market. Now, what does this sound like to me? Well, first off, when I seen initially the M Bridge, all I thought about was Quant. I'm not even going to joke around with you guys. Like, Quant Network is the one that came up for me, which we will talk about here in a second. And then down here, we do see Know Your Customer, M Bridge Ledger, and MVP, Minimum Viable Product. And then over here, sorry, let me go down one slide. This is the BIS post. And then down here, we do see a state integration by establishing an interoperability node. And this is talking about value transfer as well as active state. Again, when I look at this, what I really kind of find interesting is this middle interoperability node, which could be a gateway. This could be a DLT API gateway, which would build out a DLN, a distributed ledger network, that would connect multiple DLTs, similar to what Quant has built out, which I think is like the biggest key area to focus on here. Now, with this in mind, I think somebody else even commented down here. I actually think it's Q&T. They're the only company that has solved private DLT interoperability. They have referenced MCBDC many times and have created the standard for MDApps. Accenture is probably using Q&T tech under a white label. This is 100% Q&T. XRP still, one of the chosen. And we do see, and this is the best way to describe it, and this is what I've said in my videos in the past talking about Q&T working with Ripple. We do see could be Overledger on the connection and XRP on the value transaction, which I think is the biggest area to focus on, because that's what I've said with what Quant is doing. Quant is the core system, and then you'll have the connections being built out, the bridge being built out. This is very interesting. Sorry about that, guys. I think that this is very interesting, and I think that this should be a big focus point, especially with how large of an opportunity this could very well be. And also, it really kind of takes me back to another article going back a year ago where we did see Ripple's partner Accenture writes paper with Swift on CBDCs. And even this talked about the XRP ledger being a possible bridge for CBDCs. Here we have the paper claims that commercial banks could have a major role as providers of CBDCs for their clients. And we do see, conversely, these assets will need to have two characteristics: infrastructure and interoperability for cross-border payments and other uses or use cases. The paper claims the following, with potential room to apply one for Ripple's XRP-based solutions. The concept of CBDCs moving cross-border is complex. It is technically achievable with various technologies, but the meaning and usage of a CBDC outside its native jurisdiction is unclear. To be practical, some form of interchange mechanism with local currency must exist. What will be required is a multilateral interchange mechanism that enables payments to be made end-to-end in a frictionless form. Now, again, knowing what we know around this entire market and having the substantial information that we have on Quant as well as Ripple, the way that I perceive this is you'll have XRP be the bridge currency between these CBDCs to have that interchange of value, and then the connection, having these CBDCs discuss with one another, maybe in a multi-DLT world, maybe even in a multi-CBDC world, whatever the case may be. Well, we'll definitely have multi-CBDCs, but they will be issued out on multi-DLTs. So this one massive DLN, this distributed ledger network, will be bridged by a currency that could have this, interchange mechanism that has possibly on-demand liquidity. It could be XRP here. Not saying that's guaranteed to be. I'm just saying it could be. And we do see Accenture clearly has multiple relationships with a great number of businesses. The only certain thing is that there is a great interest in intersection of cross-border transactions and CBDCs. And yes, I think that this is a huge area. And this is a article from 1 year ago. And since then, we have seen so many big announcements around this. It's very interesting to talk about because, again, we don't know the substantial amount of information that's being talked about between these major central banks, these entities like the BIS, the IMF, the World Economic Forum, whatever, that are trying to plan out this new system. We definitely want the World Economic Forum to kind of be away from the new system if you really want to have and remain privacy and control over your money. But when we look at this, it's very interesting to see where Ripple and XRP are going to be positioned, because as we watch this market kind of, uncoil, and it's, the puzzle pieces are falling in place before our eyes, it's very interesting on what the next major stepping stone is going to be here. And also, I totally forgot to talk to you guys a little bit about Accenture here. 1 second, let me pull that up. So as we know about Accenture working with Ripple, essentially being a major partner and having the ability to have them really kind of utilize this technology, as you guys do see, Accenture will integrate Ripple's products into its advisory services to clients. Well, here you have the numbers behind Accenture. So, 721,000 employees worldwide, 9,000 clients served across more than 120 countries. So when you look at this, this is a very substantial amount of clients, 249 partners in our ecosystem as well, and they continue to grow day in and day out. But this is very substantial when you actually look at this, because again, having that ability to have Ripple products, I should say, exposed to their clients. This is 9,000 clients in the pipeline. This could be a very substantial domino effect once we do see, regulatory clarity come to the space. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the end of the day. I mean, Accenture is a giant name around a lot of the processes that are happening around crypto adoption and digital asset adoption as well. I think that when we really kind of look at things happening and unfolding within the current financial system, things are moving extremely fast. And I know that these delays where we do see the launch dates move forward, I think it's one big plan. Obviously, you could say that this is aligning perfectly with the XRP lawsuit ending and things like that. You could look at this however you want, but this is going to be a very interesting time in this market as we do kind of march into 2023. So with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on it. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.